Close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath. Let the world around you fade. Forget the ticking of the clock. Forget the glowing of the screen. You are here, listening to history. Not the grand history of kings and empires, but the quieter history, the forgotten history. The history that is not written to impress, but written to remind us that people lived, struggled, and endured. People like you, people like me. Tonight, we travel through shadowy streets, through royal palaces, through ancient ruins, and through the rumble of siege engines. We will see assassins in the Middle Ages. We will meet Olympias, the Serpent Queen of Macedon. We will meet Olympias. We will wander the labyrinths of Nasus. We will stand at the walls of ancient cities, as great machines thunder against stone. This is boring history. History that does not rush. History that does not shine. But history that lingers like candlelight in the dark. Do you ever hear stories about cunning assassins lurking in the shadows, striking with deadly precision? So they seem like figures straight out of a thrilling movie, don't they? But what if I told you that the real story of medieval assassins is far more brutal and grim than any Hollywood blockbuster? Picture this. You're a poor peasant in the Middle Ages, struggling to survive, trying to feed your family and make ends meet. Then one day, a stranger approaches you, offering you a way out of your misery. He promises you a decent sum of money in exchange for a simple task, eliminating a particular target. You might think it's a straightforward job, but trust me, it's anything but. Medieval assassins were not the highly trained professionals we often imagine. They were regular people like you and me, driven to extreme measures by dire circumstances. These individuals came from all walks of life, including peasants, soldiers, and even criminals. When war ended, many soldiers found themselves without a purpose or steady income, leading some to take up this dangerous profession, while for others, poverty or desperation drove them to become assassins. These assassins weren't part of some secret organization or guild. They operated alone, taking on jobs as they came. Most didn't even receive proper training. Instead, they learned on the job, often resorting to trial and error, which resulted in a lot of failed attempts and gruesome deaths. If an assassin was caught, he would face torture, public execution, and have his body put on display as a warning to others. Medieval assassins employed simple weapons like daggers, ropes, and garrots. Sometimes they used poison, but its effectiveness depended on the quality of the poison and the target's awareness of potential threats to their health. Poisons were often unreliable, and nobles took great precautions to ensure the safety of their food and drink. The targets of assassins were usually important figures like nobles, bishops, or even kings. Assassins had to spend weeks planning and finding ways to infiltrate these locations and carry out their attacks. Once an assassin located their target, they had to plan their attack carefully. Since castles were heavily guarded, assassins couldn't just barge in. They had to find creative ways to enter unnoticed and strike when the time was right. This required patience, observation, and knowledge of the target's routine. To get close to their target, assassins often used disguises, blending in with servants, soldiers, or common folk. However, these disguises were far from elaborate or convincing. They were simple ways to go unnoticed, rather than foolproof plans to deceive the target's guards. It might seem romantic to imagine an assassin slipping past a guard in a dark corridor, but in reality, it was a risky and challenging task. The consequences of being caught were severe. Guards were trained to spot intruders, and assassins faced torture and a horrible death if captured. The element of surprise was crucial for assassins. They had to act quickly and decisively to eliminate their target before anyone realized what was happening. However, stealthy movements inside a castle or a noble's residence were not easy, especially with the constant risk of being detected. Weapons used by medieval assassins were basic and practical. Daggers were popular because they were easy to conceal and deliver a quick, silent blow. However, using a dagger effectively required skill and training that most assassins didn't possess. Ropes and garrots were also favored as they allowed for a quick, silent assassination. Poison was another tool at their disposal, but its use depended on the availability of potent substances and the target's vulnerability. Imagine being an assassin in the Middle Ages, successfully eliminating your target only to be chased down and killed by the target's guards. Or perhaps you managed to escape, but you live the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, always fearing that someone might recognize you and seek revenge. And let's not forget the times when assassins were hired but never paid for their services, because their employers wanted to silence them to avoid any suspicion. Now, let's talk about payment. Assassins were not usually paid well for their services, and there was no guarantee that they would be paid at all. Sometimes the people who hired assassins only intended to use them and then silence them to protect their own secrets. Imagine spending weeks planning the perfect assassination, only to be killed by the person you were hired to kill. It happens. Most assassins were only given a small amount of money for their services, and they often had to wait a long time to receive their payment. And even when they were paid, the money was usually not worth the risk. So what makes Olympias, the Serpent Queen of Macedon, such a fascinating character in history? Well, she was known for her cunning, intelligence, and ruthlessness, making her a force to be reckoned with. As the mother of Alexander the Great, Olympias played a significant role in shaping the destiny of Macedon in the ancient world. Her strategic alliances and political acumen helped her son rise to power and establish one of the largest empires in history. However, Olympias was also notorious for her ambition and thirst for power, which led to her involvement in plots, betrayals, and even regicide. Her enemies often fell victim to her poisonous schemes, earning her the title of the Serpent Queen. Despite her controversial reputation, Olympias remains an enigmatic figure whose life and deeds continue to captivate historians and lovers of history alike. From the humble beginnings of Knossos to the height of power and intrigue, the life of Olympias offers a glimpse into the complexities of the ancient world and the extraordinary individuals who shaped it. Knossos, the legendary Minoan palace, holds many secrets waiting to be discovered. Located on the island of Crete, this vast complex of buildings is believed to have been the center of the Minoan civilization during the Bronze Age. Exploring the labyrinthine corridors and grand courtyards of Knossos allows us to marvel at the ingenuity and sophistication of this ancient culture, from the iconic Bull's Labyrinth to the mysterious snake goddess. The artifacts and artworks found at Knossos offer a fascinating glimpse into the religious beliefs and daily life of the Minoans. Thus, as we wander through this archaeological wonderland, we can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the rich history that surrounds us. The mighty walls of the ancient city tell a tale of resilience, strength, and human ingenuity. Standing as silent sentinels against the passage of time, these weathered stones bear witness to centuries of history. As we walk along the battlements or gaze up at the towering structures, we couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the ingenuity and determination of the builders who created them. Whether we're exploring the Colosseum in Rome, the Acropolis in Athens, or the Great Wall of China, each city wall offers a unique glimpse into the past and a reminder of the incredible feats humans can accomplish. Siege engines. The relentless thunder of siege engines echoes through the ages, reminding us of the destructive power of human innovation. These colossal machines, such as catapults, battering rams, and trebuchets, are employed by armies throughout history to breach the defenses of fortified cities and structures. As we learn about the inner workings and impressive capabilities of siege engines, we gain a deeper appreciation for the challenges faced by those who defended ancient cities. The sheer size and power of these siege engines evoke a sense of awe and also a sobering reminder of the devastating impact of warfare. Prepare to be captivated as we bring to life the tales of Olympias, the Serpent Queen of Macedon. Join us on this journey through time and discover the secrets of her legendary existence. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode and want to continue exploring the captivating world of history with us, be sure to subscribe. By doing so, you'll be the first to know when new episodes are released. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue sharing these incredible stories. So hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of history enthusiasts. Together, let's keep learning, keep exploring, and keep discovering the wonders of our shared past.